This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English Professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode, I don't know what you want to call it, congregating meeting of Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I am
meeting congregation.
Oh, all right.
Meeting.
All right, there you go. That is the English Professor from his house. In studio with myself is the glorious guru, Mr. Chad Piranha, and I'm Mark Martinez, the host. Guys, what the hell is going on?
What a week in wrestling. Some really good stuff happened across most programs. Not all, but most.
Most.
Yeah, this is not to be the downer of the bunch, but some significant injuries.
A lot of injuries this week.
A lot of injuries this week, and when we get to them, I'll kind of throw my question to you guys out there, but think about it. Are all these injuries coming because they're not wrestling as much? I don't want to say rehearsed, but they're not in practice. A little rusty.
Spots. Good question. We'll have to think about that.
We'll get to that. That's a great question.
I misspoke last week, so I already covered myself up as I said that we'll do a pay-per-view. We already have a pay-per-view to cover for our kind of second segment, which is NXT Takeover 31. So that's the pay-per-view we're going to cover. Next week, we will do an old-school pay-per-view, and I don't know if I have one yet. I have done a lot of nothing this week. I've watched wrestling, guys, and I just hit puberty again right there.
Nice.
I watched wrestling, guys, but I wasn't completely all in this week. I kind of had other stuff going on, and I don't know. I got a lot of video games in this week, though. That's what I'm proud of.
That's important, too. And don't worry, Mark and Chad. The listeners will forgive us. You know how we said we were going to do an old school pay-per-view and we didn't. It's just like promising a feature match and somebody no-shows and the fans are pissed at us. But then the following week, we have the feature match.
Right. Yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah.
You know how this is. Yeah. So that's my week, Chad. I know you were just slaying stuff in the woods all week.
Yeah, right. I was taking my bow for a walk is what I was doing. I got exercise this week and a shitload of it, which isn't a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Are we going to address the elephant in the room here, Mark?
I am
this
not.
week in baseball. What's that, Chad?
He thought you were calling him an elephant.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. No.
Do you want
to series?
Do you want to talk about your Yankees losing? Is that what you want to talk about?
I just feel like if I avoid it, my faithful, loyal listeners will think I'm dodging. It was a hell of a series. I'm not even disappointed that they lost necessarily. It just was such fun baseball that I'm sad their season is over. That was a terrific series. The Cleveland series was a terrific series. I just feel like the two best teams, in my opinion, the two best teams, the Rays and the Yankees, played a little early on. I think whoever comes out of that bracket, which we know is the Rays, is going to beat Houston.
Yeah, I think
as long as Houston doesn't win, I don't give a shit if they pick the Mets and throw them in there as a last-ditch wild
Whipping
card.
boy?
Yeah, I don't care. Just as long as Houston doesn't win.
You said, John, that it was a great series and the Yankees left a little bit early. Now you know how I felt in June. the Tigers left the season a little bit early, too.
What was that
The
about?
season hadn't even started yet.
That's what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I get you.
And I got to give John credit on something. I'm going to go back probably a month and a half in the season. I think he said this. His worries about the Yankees were they were doing so good, would they burn themselves out or not have that extra when it came to the playoffs? And not saying they burned themselves out, but it was just like, okay, holy shit, done.
There was what, John, and then we'll get to wrestling, but there was a 2-week span that they lost 37 games in, or so. I mean,
15 out of 20. 15 out of 20.
Yeah, they really shit the bed there at the end. But I mean, they were making.
But then they won 10 in a row.
Right, they were making the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah. So, before we get to wrestling, another reason why we brought baseball up is we're all baseball fans. Whitey Ford passed away. And kind of want to remember him, one of the greatest pitchers out there, you know. Chad?
92 years old.
Yeah.
Yankees all-time wins leader, Hall of Famer. You know, generally regarded as arguably one of the best players in baseball history. You know, meant so much to the organization, and you know, whether you like the evil empire or not, you know, back then it was players, and this guy, he was the epitome of a good baseball player, or a great baseball player.
Missed some time, too, to serve, I think, in Korea. At least a couple of years, which was an honorable thing for him to do. I believe all-time leader in World Series wins as far as Yankees go. Great pitcher. What can you say? I had a chance to meet him. He did a meet and greet years ago. Didn't get a chance to. I got the information of when the date was, and I was in New York, and I was trying to pull it off to stay a couple extra days, but wasn't able to. But that would have been awesome.
The only little known subject with him is he was a consultant and personal friend to Kevin Costner in the filming of For Love of the Game. How to kind of emphasize your teammates and everybody having to work together for a perfect game, whether it be an amazing catch, an amazing throw. It wasn't just a pitcher, and that was his contribution to the game. And he was on set quite a bit, and him and Costner became excellent friends with this.
Cool little tidbit. All right, shifting gears to wrestling. John, you brought up meet and greet. This morning I read Scott Hall having some issues, shows up to a virtual meet and greet, loaded, and they had to cancel it. That's it. That's it that I have of that. But the company said they'll try to make it up. But all right, AEW, because we're about 8 minutes in of us just rambling about baseball and nothingness. This was the Chris Jericho celebration 2 hours, and it was fun. I'll bitch right off the bat that, all right, yes, I know it was a Chris Jericho celebration. He didn't have to have the main event. The main event was kind of lackluster to 2 or 3 other matches on the card. It really was. But we'll get there. Taz and Starks on commentary right off the bat. Man, Ricky Starks can do no wrong. He's a great-looking guy. He's very skilled on the mic. I just love the guy. I love the guy from NWA until now. So, all right.
No argument from me. Yeah, he was great as a super baby face. During his comeback in matches in NWA, after getting beat up and kind of gaining strength from the crowd. And he's also great as a bad guy. Very good on the mic. You're absolutely right.
Chad's got nothing.
I was trying to think of something else besides what you guys said, but you said it all. He just is a good guy. He just it just looked like he was forced. He's one of these ones that natural heel. He just has the persona and the looks to be a heel.
Chad should be where I am right now. Like, last night I had a wedding, and I had a lot to drink, so maybe that's why my voice is in and out. But Chad looks like how I feel right now. So Chad is just, like, down in the dumps, and so on this end, that's why we're kind of lackluster this week. All right. FTW title match. It's Hobbs against Brian Cage. I really like Hobbs. There's something about him that, he's one of the guys that I didn't know much about when he first, showed up in AEW, and he had a quick little match here and there, but man, this guy can work. He is a beast. We all know Brian Cage is an animal, legit. But this was a great match between two big guys. Holy shit. I have to bitch right off the bat, though. Did you see Remsburg during the clothesline? He was like dancing on the ropes, and he is too much for me. He is way too much. Remsburg, the referee.
Yeah, he is a little much, but that's part of the fun, though. I miss the too much referees a little bit. Who was it? Tommy Young was so over the top back in the day. So I kind of missed that. That was fun to see for me. AEW needs these guys. They have a lot of guys on the smaller end who are amazing athletes, no question. But these two guys get in the ring and you realize how much you miss a big powerhouse match. And that's what this was. No frills, just good strikes, good powerhouse moves. I like that he's defending that championship. It kind of pisses me off a little bit because it's just a made-up title that Taz gave him. And I know it dates back to his time in ECW, but I'd like to see them do a little more. They recognized it too readily. I'd like to see Jim Ross or Excalibur bothered by this belt a little bit. It's not an AEW title.
Yeah, as far as the match, it was a good match. It was a big guy match, and it was a good musclehead match. I was kind of off about Hobbs taking a clean loss. I thought maybe they should have screwed him over in some way to kind of help him protect him a little bit because we haven't seen a lot. But other than that, I'm agreeing with John that the history of the FTW title just didn't, it wasn't presented. Here's your belt. Yeah. And they should have kind of festered his frustration. I never fucking gave up. And
with the title shot that he had,
festered it. Yeah. Let all these other guys getting shots, and they should have festered it. That's how it went with Taz. Taz actually made that title up in ECW because he was like, I'm your fucking main event guy, and you're giving the title to fucking Spike Dudley, a drunk Sandman,
Mikey Whipwreck and
everything. They just should have played it up more. Now it's like, okay, I went to AJ's belts and got a belt made up, and here it is. Just nothing fucking behind it.
We need a belt made.
We do. We've talked about that. Like, whoever's right about the pay-per-view, whoever was right about the most matches gets the belt.
Right.
We should have that.
And you'll never have it.
No, I won't. I'm terrible at that game. Two other things I want to mention about this match. What happened after the match is also of importance, Mark, and I'll let you talk about that, where they offered Hobbs an opportunity to join Team Taz. But no, what I wanted to mention was, as much of a powerhouse match as this was, with the clotheslines and the strikes and the power slams and suplexes, these guys did some moonsaults. There was a lot of speed in this match. These guys are agile. They're almost as big as Austin Theory, if you stop and think about it. Yes, I just wanted to get that in there. They're bigger than Austin Theory. That's the joke. I still haven't forgotten Beth Phoenix going on about how huge Austin Theory is when he's half the size of one of these guys. That's really what I'm...
That has been since Wednesday, then. You wanted to get that in.
Yeah. Yeah. But go ahead. After the match, what happened?
They offer Hobbs a part in Taz's place, and they're like, you got two options, join us or get your ass beat. And he's just sitting there thinking, and then all of a sudden, dun, 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 here comes Darby, and he cleans house, and I bet you we have a tag team match this week. Just saying. Just saying.
Right.
So, Archer's somewhere. I don't know where the hell he was. He talks about Moxley, and then later on in the night we get a recap from Moxley saying they're all ready, because this week is it's a big celebration anniversary show for AEW, and we finally can have Archer against Moxley. This seems like it's been for like 6 months in the making, but they never cross paths. One's either in a jungle, one's in a bathroom at a baseball stadium, one's in a picnic area. They can never find each other that they can actually have a face-to-face, which is I'm okay with.
I like the build-up.
Yeah.
I like the build-up. Yep.
So, we have a match between the Hybrid 2 and FTR. I'm not a fan of Evans and Angelico. I just didn't like these guys. I don't know why. This is something. Maybe I'm not exposed to them enough. I just, But, yeah. FTR wins.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a fine match. I am a bigger fan of FTR. I thought, what the hell are they called? The Hybrid 2. A little high fly for my liking. Unnecessarily athletic, if that makes any sense at all. Almost showing too much agility. I just like FTR. Take a guy down to the mat, work on a body part, frequent tags. I think last week they worked on the arm. This week was the knee. It just shows they have a game plan for each opponent going into a match. They're very believable as a tag team. Tully Blanchard is so believable as a manager. By doing less, we keep saying Bobby Heenan, but he's not Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan is the greatest of all time, but he was clownish because that was his character. That's not Tully Blanchard. Like, he's not throwing a fit, but you could see him seething through his teeth because he thought it was a 3 count, but it was only 2, and he's yelling at the referee. Those guys just do a really nice job of telling a good wrestling story.
Best tag team in wrestling. You can't argue it.
Not at all.
And they are doing the way tag team wrestling, not this fucking backslap tag bullshit or tagging the fucking confetti hanging off of your fucking boots, the young fucks.
Chad's waking up, by the way.
Oh my God. They do tag hands, stuff like that behind the ref, to fake a tag that the referee didn't see. The guy going out claps his hands. Referee's like, well, I heard the tag. Oh, this is what tag team wrestling is. This is what it is.
And after the match, we had something here as well, right, Mark? There was the Best Friends came out.
Yeah.
So this keeps the ball rolling. I love it. These are champions who say they'll challenge anybody. They've beaten a couple of teams. Another team comes out. And what it does is it showcases all the tag team talent AEW has. They can't keep this running forever. I don't know that they have, 100 teams, but it's something they could do for a few weeks. A new team comes out and says, hey, we got next.
I want, my brush with greatness. Our brush with greatness.
Right.
Then MJF talks about Jericho in 30 years, bro. These two could just be on TV for 2 hours, and it would be a sitcom or a miniseries or a documentary, and I would watch it. These two are so fucking great.
Is this where he gave him the present, or is that later in the show?
This is later in the show.
That's later in the show. Okay.
This is just him saying.
Just him. Right. Yeah. Yeah, he got praise from a lot of people. People in the wrestling business, people in the music industry. Just what I know of him is his intro song and maybe a couple other songs I've heard. He's not bad. I mean, the guy can play, the guy can sing. But more importantly than what I think, he's got the respect of his peers in the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's holding his own, and Jericho, you have to put him in the talk and when I say the greatest of all time, I'm not talking wrestlers that, Hulk Hogan bringing us into the media or this or that. I'm talking actual wrestlers, actual contributions. You have to put Jericho in there.
For sure.
I think you could make a very strong case for him even against Ric Flair.
Wow.
But I would make the comparison to Hulk Hogan, Chad, for the very reason you said. Like, Hulk Hogan made it, mainstream and got other media to pay attention to the wrestling world. Jericho's done the same thing. His connections to music, his connections to hockey.
Let me clarify that. I guess what I was meaning was people talk, greatest of all time. Well, Hogan, look what he did. No. Okay. That's the only fucking thing positive that he did for wrestling ever, was bring it into the media. That he couldn't wrestle his way out of a ripped wet paper bag.
Ripped even.
Ripped, yes.
Damn.
He could see the light and still fuck it up. That's what I meant by that. It's just like, that's his only contribution. He's not done anything. Look at Jericho. Look at everywhere he's gone. He's been successful.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Across, around the world. Legit, and you've seen it. Dog collar match time. This was fucking bloody. This was unbelievable. I do have to say that Greg Valentine didn't look like he gave two shits to be there at all.
So he looked normal.
He did.
He looked normal. He looked like every day.
He tried. Every once in a while, he shifted to make it look like he was looking or clapped or something. A little bit.
I think his ass was falling asleep was the only reason he was shifting.
This was unbelievable. This was a great match. Let me see what you guys. I still think Piper and Valentine's match was, a lot better. A lot better. But this was close. This was close to what they could do.
Boy, I think which one was better? That's tough. This match Wednesday started a little slow for me, where I thought, why aren't these guys just going at it? It almost seemed like it was a dog collar match just for the sake of bringing something back, and they didn't have a plan to make it a dog collar match. But then either they hit a stride or something clicked, or they were just warming us up a little bit. The chain came into effect in ways we didn't see 36 years ago, 37 years ago. They did some innovative stuff, whereas Valentine wrapped the chain around Piper's eyes. I think it was Brody Lee wrapped it around Cody's entire face, pulling each other into the ring post and things like that. I think we got the nut shot. Of course we would in a situation like that where you yank on the chain and it hit Brody Lee in the jimmies. And then you just got some old fashioned wrap the chain up and punch the guy in the face with it. It hit everything, more importantly, without making it look like it was supposed to hit everything. It looked like two guys going at it. Started out slow, but maybe that was by design.
It was a good match. I don't think it was nearly as good as Piper and Valentine. Out of the sheer brutality from Piper and Valentine, out of the personal, it come out years afterwards that they're like, we're just going to beat the fuck out of each other. And either one of us is going to win or they're going to stop the match and say y'all are crazy bastards. That's been documented in interviews from both of them. And I think that was the difference, is it looked more personal. Nothing against Brody Lee. I love what he does. If Cody was in this match with somebody, I dare say, better suited to it, maybe this was a match with him and Dustin feuding or something, I think it would have taken it a step more. But if you're talking a rating, I'd give it a 4.5, 6 beers.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say to that is, in fairness 37 years ago, you could get away with less. It did look personal. It got to a point where those guys were punch drunk and they were just going to keep punching each other in the face. Nowadays, you have to get the spots in.
Yeah.
The fans will not tolerate Brody Lee just like, boom, a punch. Boom, a punch. Or when Cody was on top, it was bam, 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 one right after the other. They're not going to tolerate one, take a deep breath, another one, like, a barroom fight out of a John Wayne movie.
Yep.
And that's not taking anything away from Piper and Valentine, which is absolutely awesome. But you could do less back then, and fans tolerated it more.
We get a new champ. We all know Cody wins, and then afterwards, I don't know. I think Cody went kind of off kilter as he was thanking fans and thanking this, that, and the other. I don't know if he knew what was going on. And then finally, he's like, I guess I have to fight somebody again soon. And then Orange Cassidy comes out. So it's Cody and Orange next week for the TNT Championship. All championships will be on the line during this anniversary show. Excited about that. And then afterwards, they announced 3 new people for the tournament. And Wardlow in the tournament to become number one contender. Colt Cabana. What the hell has he done? So there's 2 that kind of what have they done. And then Hangman. Hangman is in it. And as we all said, that this is where Hangman and Omega get the big blow off, right?
Oh, this is where this shit starts. I gotta say, just beat the fuck out of him. Just beat his ass. I don't care if the referees come down, take a chain, beat their asses. But if he can 3/4 decapitate Omega without killing him, I want to see it.
3/4 decapitate.
That's possible, yeah, without killing him, yeah. I'm excited to see Wardlow get a meaningful match. No brackets yet, right? Just a few names.
Just names so far, yeah.
Just names thrown in there, yeah. Colt Cabana, I'm with you, Mark. Yeah, Colt Cabana, I'm not sure he really ought to be in a tournament that determines the number one contender. Sorry, go ahead.
No. We still have 2 more names that get thrown into this. I imagine they'll announce them this week. I don't know. Big Swole takes on Serena Deeb. Deeb reminded me so much of Malenko during this match. The way that she was twisting Swole around, and I like Deeb. I really do. She's a lot of years in the business. When she came to AEW, I said this, I want to repeat it again. I think she is going to just accelerate this women's division, and just teach all these gals everything they need to know. She's wonderful for AEW.
She deserves a push. She's so good in the ring. I enjoyed the chain wrestling. Big Swole's great, too. This was a very, very good match. But I don't know how I've never heard of her until now, Serena Deeb. There's good, there's great, and there's special. I'd go so far as to say she's special. She really is.
I like this match. I thought it was a good match. I'm going to be the dissenting opinion on this. I am not a big Swole fan. She's good, but she reminds me of a more technical wrestler than Naomi, and she's just bland. I don't care for her.
Okay. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
No, I'm just stating. I'm just
Touche. All right, that brings us to our main event, which is Jericho and Hager against the Chaos Project. I already said it. I don't think this should have been the main event whatsoever, but it's what happens after the match is why this is the main event, to give them that time away. They just beat the shit out of each other. Match, not good.
It wasn't great, but maybe you guys can speak to the history of this, certainly more than I can. What is the connection between, was it Luther and Chris Jericho, that they go back to the start of Jericho's career or something?
It was a connection in Japan where Luther was kind of one of Jericho's, what do you call it?
Cronies?
No, he was kind of like a mentor in the more physical side of wrestling versus the technical. So they've just known each other forever. That guy shouldn't be in the ring. Oh my God. He
long in the tooth.
No tooth. No tooth.
After they get the win, MJF comes out and brings Wardlow. Wardlow brings a present, and it is, I don't know what the hell his name was, something the Clown, but we know him as Elijah Dean. We know him as the Man Dime.
So it wasn't much different.
Just
more makeup.
Not any toilet paper. Real quick, did you guys see that Wardlow will be taking on Elijah Dean on AEW Dark on Tuesday night on YouTube? So make sure you check that out.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, wow. Is this sort of a tryout then for Elijah?
Possibly, huh?
That would be great. That would be great. I have said that Team Big League, they're special. There's that word again. They really are.
Before we get to the Jericho thing, at one point during the credits rolling, and I want to talk about the credits as well after this match, IWC is the word I was looking for, had Britt Baker, Wardlow, and Elijah Dean all in the ring to end AEW. Pretty fucking amazing in my book, just saying.
To end
AEW this week. They all were in the ring celebrating.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Granted, Elijah Dean was dead.
Yeah.
Britt was drinking, and Wardlow was just running around doing Wardlow things.
For our listeners and us, let's get it out for this week's viewing of Elijah Dean. You got to throw toilet paper into the ring for him.
You do. If you're going to the event, throw toilet paper.
Toilet paper, yes. He loves toilet paper. And, having Britt, Elijah, and Wardlow all in the ring, this is a case of, you always say, here's 3 things, which of these fuckers don't belong? Guess who it is, toilet paper boy.
Speaking of which, guys, happy belated Dime Day, which was yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Happy.
Yep.
Yeah. Dime Piece Day.
Dime Piece, whatever. Dime Day, Dime Piece. Yeah, I had 10-10. Yeah. It's an IWC reference. Jericho and MJF, they keep getting me. They keep tricking me. I am never sure what the deal is with them. There was a point where he took whatever the hell he gave him, a painting or a drawing or something, and smashed it over the clown's head and said 2 things. I hate clowns, and don't ever jump on my time again or interfere during my time again. And they were face to face, and they were like, I'm just kidding. There's something else, man. I thought they were teasing a feud, and then they were just kidding around.
It's going to happen. I can't wait. I just want the interviews and the promos between these guys to continue for my whole life. Literally.
Yeah. I think it'll be a torch passing situation between Jericho and MJF. And this sort of segues back to the previous match. I had a question for you guys before I forget. Do you think Deeb is just sort of kind of passing the torch on to the younger talent?
Yeah.
Or do you think she eventually gets a push at some point? Because
6 of one, half a dozen the other. Because they'll give her spot, but I don't know if she's going to beat Sheeta or maybe Britt or something. But she is there to just enlighten. In my eyes, she is there to enlighten and train and make them better. And I think you're seeing it already.
Yeah. She's really good. This was a good show.
Yeah. Oh, and Jericho did everything. If you watch the credits, which they don't ever have credits anymore.
Yeah.
But this one, the credits roll, he was a cameraman, he was anything that was available to be done, Jericho did it all.
Yeah. And it made you want to watch the credits. It became like a Naked Gun movie where you tune in to see Kung Fu Grip and, all that stuff. Yeah.
It's the stupidness of wrestling.
Yeah,
that's what what else do you have to say?
That was the funny part of it. This is, John has brought this up before and we've talked about it. Why is this stupidness accepted And if it was WWE, we'd be shitting on it.
It's not shoved down our throat.
It's not shoved down our throat. It's not been fucking shoved down our throats for the last 20 years. These are new guys doing
stupid shit.
A take on old things.
Yeah. Chad is in studio, okay, wearing something that I want him to talk about, and then we'll talk about Collar and Elbow. And then Chad's also going to make kind of maybe an announcement. And I'm excited for this because this is pretty fucking awesome. So it all has to do with Collar and Elbow. Promo code Can Crushers, all one word, capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers. You'll get 10% off. The shirts are amazing. But here's Chad to tell his Collar and Elbow story. Finally.
Yes. And I'm bad about that, but I apologize, but I don't want to take away. I got the Animal Memorial shirt in this week. And I gotta say, I ordered this on a Friday. It was on my front doorstep before the regular mail ran in the morning on Monday. So shout out right there. The design is great. It's absolutely perfect. Still bittersweet, thinking it's been about a month now, since Animal passed away. And I'm looking at this design and I'm like, this design would make a hell of a tattoo. So I am going to consult and get in with my favorite tattoo artist out of Kane, and I think I'm going to get this as a tattoo across my back.
Your back is where you're getting it. Oh, damn!
Yeah, so I can make it large. I mean, I could if I got it.
You put it on your gut.
If I got it on my stomach, it would be fucking massive. But we want to give it a little bit of definition and have it across. I'm going to get it across my shoulders.
So Al Snow brought a tattoo to you, essentially.
Yes, and I don't know if I need to, with this design, get copyright permission, anything like that. But we will Al, if you're listening, if you're listening through your hearing aids, I know at your
300 years old.
300 years old. If not, maybe we can type something up on the computer or have somebody read it to you or something.
That would be Chad Miller.
I want to do this. Would like to do this with y'all's permission, of course. But we will be in touch about this.
As long as you probably get the Collar and Elbow logo down in the corner.
Probably, no problem.
I would think. All right, so Collar and Elbow. Can Crushers, all one word, capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers. And you can get shirts like that. You can get the Mean Gene shirt. You can get the Macho Man shirt, which is still my favorite one.
Shad
Gaspar. They have the new fall issue. Or not issue. It wouldn't be issue. Series, whatever. Mark's rambling. Let's get to Al Snow, and then we'll come back, and John will lead us in NXT for the week, right?
That is correct.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey everybody, this is Gilbert, WWF's longest reigning light heavyweight champion. You're listening to Can Crushers Podcast, the best guys there are out there.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, listeners. It is I, the English Professor, joined by your host Mark Martinez and Chad, the Glorious Guru. In this next segment, we are going to cover all things NXT, from their Takeover 31 and then into the Wednesday night show. We'll start with Takeover 31, Mark.
Yeah. Do you have the matches in order, or do you want me to do them? Let me do them, and then
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah. All right. So TakeOver 31 starts with the North American Championship match. Damian Priest against Gargano. A lot of offense right off the bat from Gargano, and then Priest just takes over. Let's skip ahead a little bit, as I know you both are going to say this, so we have to ruin it right off the bat so we can talk real. Probably the greatest event of the year so far. This whole card was fucking amazing. Top to bottom. The lowest ranked match you have to give 4 stars. Up to, 5 beers and then 6 beers. I mean, you know where I'm going. This was just an unbelievable card across the docket. So, I don't know how we're going to speak ill of this.
I know, undoubtedly. No probably about it, Mark. Undoubtedly the best card of the year. This, to me, was the worst match of the night, and it was fantastic. It's only worse because something has to be the worst. After this match, I felt like, holy cow, this is a match of the year contender. I don't know if I put it at the top, but it's a contender. This will be a tough act to follow. It only got better. This was awesome. They told a great story of Gargano obviously being outsized, out-muscled, but had the tenacity, missile drop kicks and trying to take Cross down, Cross going for the razor's edge a couple of times. And we see some counters that we've seen. We saw some counters, or not, did I say Karrion Kross? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've had him on my mind. I've been thinking about it.
He's out for a while. Yeah.
I know. I miss him and Scarlett so much. I can't even tell you. Damian Priest. I apologize. Priest going for the razor's edge. Gargano with some reversals we've seen, some we haven't seen. He did like a sunset flip down the back that we saw Bret Hart do to Razor Ramon. And then he did some other wild stuff we've never seen. This was just so good from start to finish. Again, you had Gargano trying to take the big guy down, use his tenacity, clearly outmuscled and outmatched. And you had you had Damian Priest just overpowering him.
What is it that you miss him so much? I mean, I love Cross and Scarlett, but why? Dreams about them?
The entrance. I missed the entrance. The other day, I found myself absentmindedly just saying, "Fall and pray, fall and," and I'm like, what am I saying? Why am I saying that? I'm like, oh yeah, that was Scarlett. She was psychotic during that entrance. Yeah,
fits you. What do you have to say about this match, Chad?
About Damian Priest not Karrion Kross. Go ahead, Chad.
Johnny Gargano, yeah, he's just great. That's all there is to it. You can't say anything more about him. Rasta, the Voodoo Man, Papa Shango's
it's my cousin, you dickbag. It's my cousin.
Papa Shango's son, Punishment Martinez. You can't. This was his coming out match to me. He showed a lot more, or was allowed to show a lot more than he has been. He's got to be with. We'll talk about it later in the program with the NXT title. You got to be putting him in that talk. I don't care that he's the North American champion. You got to be putting him in the talk. Of the NXT title.
For sure.
And he's got a great look. You mentioned Papa Shango. Priest has a little Papa Shango, a little Razor Ramon, and the whole party thing afterwards is just great. Not that they did it this time around, but the hot tub of the pool and the champagne and the girls. It's such a cool gimmick for this guy.
And this was the worst match.
And this was the worst, and it was, 4.5 stars out of 5.
Next up, you have Kushida against Doc Brown. I mean, Velveteen Dream. I love Doc Brown. I know you love Velveteen Dream. Yeah. And there's times he's a little bit too much for me. This was fucking amazing. This was awesome.
I didn't get the reference. Obviously, we're watching it and Mrs. Professor says, why does he look like the professor from Back to the Future? I'm like, I have no idea. And it wasn't until I read something about it that it was a knock on one of Kushida's gimmicks from Japan, I guess. You guys aware of this at all?
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know then.
Right. No. Yeah, I didn't know during the course of the match. I had to go read something somewhere that Kushida did something similar, and he was making fun of him, which is typical Velveteen Dream. I don't think he ever makes the same entrance twice. That's why he's so cool.
This, to me, was the worst match on the card. But still, a good match. I'm not a, I'm not a Velveteen Dream fan. He's okay. After the accusations and stuff, he's taking the shit. They're gonna abuse him as bad as they did Triple H after the Madison Square Garden click when Nash and
curtain
call and everything. They're gonna abuse him, so he's gonna take some shit. Look, Kushida again, the joint manipulation. He just makes that shit just looks bad.
It hurts me watching.
Yeah, and I mean not just because we're old, but that. And we'll see. More of this on the NXT show, Wednesday night show.
Velveteen Dream, though, I agree with you, Chad. I, however, am a big fan. He is getting abused right now. He's getting buried. I, however, am a big fan. I don't know what's true and what isn't. Guys, I've tuned out a lot of that stuff. One thing I've learned is whatever you enjoy, music, movies, wrestling, athletics, don't dig too deeply into the personal lives of these people because there'll be something there that disappoints you because they're imperfect human beings. I like this guy as a wrestler and performer. I love the gimmick. But to your point, he is getting buried for those accusations, in my opinion. But like Triple H, I don't think you can hurt this guy. This guy can job out. He can tap out. He can get cleanly pinned. He's still entertaining. He'll endure. Right or wrong, once this goes away, you'll see him rise to the occasion, rise to the top of the ladder, however you want to put it. Look, something similar happened with Jericho's guy, Sammy Guevara. Sent him away for a little bit. Now he's back on TV. If they sell merchandise, if they sell TV time, they'll be back on TV.
And let me add with Velveteen Dream, it's not just the accusations. There's backstage issues with him in the locker room and stuff like that he's rubbed a lot of the veterans the wrong way, bringing people back that in the back that he shouldn't be. Just stuff like that. I think they're teaching him a lesson. I don't think he's going away. I don't want to see him walk away or go away just, not just because I'm not a overly big fan of him, but he does bring an energy
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to actually say is, no matter what happens to him, he's going to be here because of his energy. Because no matter how he comes to the ring, as Doc Brown, as John Padalano, as, I don't know, Dirty Dick Slater, whatever, however he's going to come to the ring, it's a prestige, it's a celebration every time that he comes out that you want to watch, that you want to see what the fuck he's doing. So that's why he's going to stay. He'll stay around because after this all clears or whatever, he's going to make money for this company.
Yeah.
So you use my shoot name.
I use your shoot name all the time.
Yeah, but last name too this time. That's all right.
I always do. Yeah. Have you not listened to the beginning of the show? Ever?
I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh, Jesus. Cruiserweight Championship, Santos Escobar against Swerve. I'm just not a Swerve fan. So this is where I was like, I hope Escobar just beats his ass quick. And yeah, I don't know why I don't like him. He's great. I just don't like him. I don't know why.
I love him. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. What? I love him. He's a great athlete.
I love him. The way that you said it, it's like you're getting a bowl of Cheerios or something. I love him.
It's going to be monster cereal as soon as we're done.
I'm going to bring out my inner Eli Drake as far as him liking Swerve or whatever. Big fucking surprise.
Go ahead.
I love this match. I'm a big fan of both guys. I have a hard time pulling for a winner because I'm such a big fan of both guys. Very, very fast-paced action. Hurricane Ranas, flying moves, but some good mat wrestling. Again, I'm fooled. I'm thinking we're going to see just a clean match, but that's not how Santos Escobar holds on to his belt. There wasn't any mask action in this. No loaded mask action.
Which pisses me off.
Yeah, I did want to see that, to be honest with you. We did get Legado del Fantasma kind of interfering. I don't know that they got into the match necessarily, but enough to cause distractions of the referee. What I wanted to see here was go all the way with this. So Isaiah Swerve Scott says you can't win unless you cheat. And here are all the ways you cheat every time we face each other. We saw a little bit of that. I would have rather they go the whole way with it and prove Scott's point. And Santos, being the gigantic douche he is, doesn't care anyway. He uses distraction of the referee, cheap antics during the course of the match, interference, and then finally a loaded mask at the end. Give me everything he's done to this point to show he can't beat this guy. But he's still proud of himself for winning. Still, overall, just a superb match between these guys.
I told you guys last week he was going to cheat. He was going to cheat to win, and it'd be something totally different. I knew that's where it was going to go. Swerve is one of these ones. I'm not comparing them. I'll use John's analogy of Velveteen Dream. He's one of these ones that can take a lot of losses and still be there, still be competitive, still be taken seriously.
Do you think Swerve is the one that finally gets the title off of Escobar, or do you think this is done right now and we see somebody else?
I think I don't think he takes the belt off of him, but I don't think it's done. This is one challenger over the course of a lengthy run.
Okay.
I think he takes the title from him, but not as Swerve. He's going to be under a mask.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Sorry, John, yours sucks.
I think he's going to be under a mask. It's going to be, go back. I talked about the Ricky
Black
Steamboat,
Scorpion?
Shane Douglas, giant machine type deal.
Yes.
Where you're going to know exactly who the fuck it is, and he's going to get beat and
pop it
off the mask.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I'm excited. All right, Women's Championship, and a lot happens after. And man, am I excited. Io takes on Candice, and this was a barn burner. Everything about this. I love this match. I like Candice a little bit more, but I'm excited for what happens after. Not only one surprise, but two surprises, and yeah, let's get going.
I'll start on the match itself. What can you say? The matches just keep getting better. It's similar to what we said about some of the others. Fast-paced action, split-second timing, series of moves right in a row, but without the opponent just kind of lying there waiting for it. There was a point where Shirai, I think it was Shirai, hit a 619, and then a springboard drop kick, but all the moves are like boom, 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 false finish, another series of moves, false finish. These women brought it. Really, really good match. Io Shirai retained, so the LeRae family was 0 for 2 on the night.
Which we were both wrong on that, because we thought Candice was going to win. What'd you think of the match?
I liked it. Again, it's just them stepping it up. Candice LeRae, not just a pretty face. She's out there wrestling. Their match reminded me of a bunch of puzzle pieces falling together seamlessly. They just didn't dick stuff up. They weren't sitting there ordering a pizza and getting a 6-pack of beer waiting for the fucking person to do the next move. Young Bucks, Kenny fucking Omega. They looked like they belonged. They proved they belong. And, to be honest with you, this match could have been the main event.
Yeah.
I would have had zero issues with this match being the main event.
And afterwards, we get one of my I don't want to say all-time favorites, but one of my favorites since they started the Mae Young Classic. Toni Storm pops up on the Jumbotron, and I'm like, holy shit. Now, if you watch NXT UK, you see Toni, but now that she's actually going to be a huge presence in NXT US. I think she's going to take this company by storm.
That's what you did there.
I'm not included. I've loved her. I loved her. But then all of a sudden, we predicted it, that the motorcycle person was going to have something to do with the women's match, and it ends up being the returning Ember Moon. I heard that she was healthy, but I didn't expect her to go to NXT. I thought she was going to get her push in one of them during the draft of Raw or SmackDown. I think this is a great fit for her. I think it's good to get her feet wet again. I'm excited. I really love this women's division.
This with Ember Moon, God, I hate to be a downer. When she come out, I was like, fucking really? I'm not overly impressed with her. And this is because my mind is thinking what she did on the main roster.
I don't think she's showcased enough on
but
the main roster.
If you go back to her NXT before, that's when you were excited about her. That's where these wrestlers that Vince is just shitting on, coming back to NXT, rediscovering. They didn't lose the passion, but instead of no pun intended, instead of a burning ember, it's a full-fledged fucking bonfire with these guys.
Right.
Yeah. I liked what happened after the match. Obviously, the match was superb. Forgot to mention Johnny Gargano ran in as a referee when the referee went down. I'm glad these women came out. I'm glad there was no funny business. There was no interference. You showcased these two women. You added them to the picture of the women's title division. But they didn't interfere, and that was great. We got to see Candice LeRae and Io Shirai one-on-one, and then much like the FTR match, another team comes out and says, hey, I got next. These two ladies come out and say, take a deep breath because now we're coming for you. This match is over. Now look who's on deck.
Right. Yep. I thought you were going to say more. Okay. Match of the year. Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly.
This ain't even fucking close. Not even. I'm sorry to interrupt. Right. No. Not even. There's nobody close to them.
Run with it.
This match was fucking great. I honestly thought, as a fan, holy fuck, Kyle O'Reilly's really going to take this title.
Edge of the seat.
And even Vinny at 6, it was sitting, oh my God. And he was like, he's going to win it. No, Finn's going to win it, And my son at 6 said, I hope they don't do something stupid at the end. this match, if anybody pisses on this match, you're a fucking jackass.
John, are you going to be a jackass?
No, absolutely not. This is the match of the year. Like Chad said, not even close. Listeners, I don't know. If you haven't seen this match, I don't think there's anything the three of us can say to do it justice. Really, we can't. We have described great matches, right? And why they're great. I don't have the words. This had nice layers to it. It had peaks and valleys, kicked it into gear at times, slowed it down at times. I said Finn Balor is the best in the world. I've said this 1,000 times. I don't have my ear to the ground like you two do. To me, he is the best out there. I think O'Reilly showed me there's an argument for him being number 2 in the world. These were the very best performers. I don't think if you plug in Adam Cole in place of O'Reilly, this match would have been any better. This was absolutely superb.
Afterwards, Ridge Holland appears, has Adam Cole, and it leads up to something later, what's going on. But we find out that on NXT, the injury bug fucking hit hard.
Oh, the injury bug hit in this match.
Yeah. Well, it did hit in this match. Legit hit in this match. Took a bite out of him. Another
Kyle O'Reilly, if you didn't catch this move, go back. We're going to lose Finn Balor for a while. He's probably going to have to forfeit the title.
So many times on NXT.
Kyle caught him with a kick that you looked at Balor and you thought his fucking eyes were rolling in the back of his head, that he was out on his feet. I have never seen that other than like a UFC or something match. And I was like, he is not, that's not right. There's something wrong there. And then they come back that Balor suffered a broken jaw in 2 places, and his jaw's wired shut.
So yeah, moving then right into NXT on Wednesday night. The doctor didn't seem overly concerned about the broken jaw, that it would sideline him. Maybe I misread that, but he just sort of seemed to tell us the facts and didn't indicate that he would miss much time. So I don't know if he's going to give up the championship or not. I hope not. The last champion, whom I mentioned earlier,
a million times.
We weren't even talking about him, had to forfeit the belt. On that note, I didn't read it. I just sort of came across the headline during the week. Chris Jericho is making fun of NXT and their injuries, I guess, which I know the guy just celebrated 30 years and we're celebrating him. I did not read the comments, but to me is in poor taste. I don't think you ever want to make fun of anybody for getting injured. Maybe to his point, Jim Cornette has said something to the effect of 30 years ago, everybody believed it and nobody was getting hurt. Now everybody knows it's fake, but guys are always getting injured. I don't know why that is. Chad, maybe this is a perfect opportunity for you to pose your question that you kind of hinted at earlier.
Yeah, I'll throw this out to you guys and then give my... Do you think that these injuries are coming from a lack or a scaled back schedule, not as many matches, everything like that? Because you don't have house shows. You don't have, spot events or anything like that. And there just seems to be a huge rash of injuries. And one we forgot to mention when we finish with this question. Do you guys honestly think it's coming from a lack of, are they rusty? A bit.
I will say it's not from that. I think, and I always go back to my favorite Undertaker saying, you do one thing, now you have to do two the next day. You have to. I think they're doing too much. I think that it's Ricky Steamboat and Savage. You know, they jumped off the top rope maybe 10 times during that match, okay? At WrestleMania 3. There was more ground and pound then. I think that it's, and this sounds stupid, and John kind of played reference to it earlier, it's too athletic now. You know, these guys, not that they weren't stars before, but it's taken on a different persona now. It's not ground and pound wrestling that is, which John said, John Wayne movie, you know, boom, boom, boom. We need the big spots. I don't need the big spots, but people need the big spots, and I think that's why a body's just not made to fucking fly through the air or do stuff like that. So I don't think it's that they're not wrestling enough. I think they're putting themselves at risk way too much.
I will agree with Mark pretty much wholeheartedly. I don't think it has anything to do with the lack of events, and I'll give you a couple of reasons why. Number one, if the next generation can live a little easier, then why not? If they can make more money working less, I'm happy for them. But number two is that working less the reason they're getting injured? I say no. We've been to house shows. Let's be honest. A Monday Night Raw house show, the Raw brand house show back in the day, was not the same as Monday Night Raw. Naomi walks to the ring. She doesn't get a running head start and slide on her knees, which has got to be a bitch. Let's be honest. That can't be comfortable. I don't care how thick her knee pads are, shin guards. You know, I remember mentioning this to a friend when I went to, I think it was a Raw house show. There's a 6-man tag team match thrown together at the end. Sami Zayn was the hardest working guy in that match, mocking the fans and doing some high flying stuff. Everybody else kept it pretty simple. And I remember telling a friend of mine that, and he said, that's because Sami Zayn comes from the independents and wants to give everybody their money's worth. I don't think these men and women are doing at the house shows what they would do on a pay-per-view or on Raw. But I think they're good enough athletes to know that in between events, they've got to stay in shape. They're probably working in the ring. I imagine they're working in a ring to some capacity just to stay loose, just to stay sharp. So I don't think the lack of house shows has anything to do with the injuries. And you, Mark, you're going to laugh at me. You can laugh at me. I don't care.
I will laugh at you.
You will. You will. I know you will. I haven't even said anything. You're laughing at me. Watching them perform. All right. This match, other matches, some of this stuff that they're doing, go ahead and laugh, is on my test in 2 weeks.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, but let me bring this up. This shit's not easy, you guys. A forward roll. Like, I have to do a forward roll. That's not as easy as it looks. These guys and women are jumping off the top rope before the match starts. Their entrance is a jump off the top rope into a forward roll, into a hop, skip, and jump. They're incredible athletes. It takes a toll on you, though. It takes an unbelievable toll on you. One false move. You know, we did a monkey flip type thing at the gym the other day. It is hard as shit. These guys are doing monkey flips and landing on their feet on the other end, jumping, you know, springboarding off the ropes into something else. They're incredible athletes, but it's wear and tear, and just one wrong thing, and you get your jaw broken.
As I'm sitting here listening to what you guys say, I'm gonna disagree with you guys. Big surprise there.
Big fucking surprise.
Yeah, there you go. I copyrighted that earlier. You'll hear from my lawyer.
You're fired.
This was
or lawyer problems for Mark.
Right.
I think it's a combination of both. I did not mean to insinuate that is the lack of matches the cause. I think it is a huge contributing factor. And I'll throw this analogy out there. If you only play football and don't practice, and you play football, practice.
Sorry.
If you play football once a week and don't practice, you know the basics. You can pull it off, but you're not going to be as crisp. You play any position of baseball, if you don't practice, you again know the basics. To any sport, you can go like that. So I think it's affecting, they're maybe not as crisp as they would be. To John's point, I absolutely love it. They're expected to do more. It's more flash than substance with the crowd nowadays, and it's 95% of the time it's entertaining, not telling a story like it was before.
Right. Oh, we've said that for fucking 3 years now.
It's not, rubbing Ricky Morton's face in the concrete and getting that road rash shit on there. It's, everybody and their mother are doing dives through the ropes. How often did you see that shit before? The first time I can really remember seeing it, and I was like, holy fuck, was a Great American Bash where Sting jumped over the top rope onto Rick Steiner when Steiner was in the Varsity Club. It's like, holy shit. Nowadays, everybody's doing it, and it lessens
Every match.
It lessens it. It cheapens it. And it's not a thing of guys versus girls. It's fine. If the women are doing it, fuck it. If they can do it, do it. Make it look good. But you don't need everybody doing it, because once you get to the main event, what do they have to do other than to invent shit?
Yep.
And put themselves at more risk. And I think it's just a big circle of, holy shit, we got to pull something out here. What was the pay-per-view, the Clash of Champions? We said there was a fucking reason why they put that ladder match first. Because if it was anywhere near the main event would have been looked at as
a joke
on a scale of 1 to 6 beers, -3 dog turds.
All right, let's pick up the action here in the NXT as we're getting along and we have some stuff to do, and I have prior engagements. We'll leave it at that. Let's pick up the action and kind of skim through the rest of NXT. All right, Johnny?
All right, Kushida versus Tommaso Ciampa. I love it. It's an aggressive tactic on NXT's part to put in two guys who are way over and at the top of their game in the ring at the same time. Very, very good match. I thought NXT Wednesday picked up right where the pay-per-view left off. Great action between these guys. Disqualification at the end. I'm A-okay with that. I didn't want to see either of these guys lose. I think there was some language barrier or something because Kushida was raising his hands at the end like he won. But he was disqualified for outside interference.
I didn't watch it, so I'm stepping out of NXT. So it's just you, Joe.
Yeah, you got to go back and watch it.
I'll go back and watch it, but there was just a lot. Wednesday nights are so booked in our house, and I'll throw myself under the bus. Get ready, everybody can poke fun at me. We're huge Big Brother fans. It's the Masked Singer. It's the show on afterwards. Plus, I didn't watch the debate, so I kind of went to bed early as well. So I kind of either tape NXT or I have to find it on the network a couple days later. This week has just been a clusterfuck. And then normally I watch it on Saturdays, but I got drunk real early yesterday at a wedding, and I just carried over. So I didn't watch NXT.
Well, Velveteen Dream, I think, jumped from the top rope, meaning to hit Kushida, but accidentally hit Ciampa, and then, was mad at himself, was scared of Ciampa. But that contact with Ciampa caused the disqualification on Kushida, but Kushida left the ring raising his own hand. I'd like to see a rematch between these guys.
Yeah, when Velveteen Dream turned around after hitting Ciampa and Kushida just fucking laid him out. I mean, I was like, oh shit, that looked a little personal. You know, when Kushida putting his arms up celebrating like he won, that was well played, because it was like, I didn't fucking do anything. Why did I lose? He was after me. They played it well. It was good. It was a good way to end the match.
Ember Moon had a promo, and to Chad's point earlier from the pay-per-view, Mark said you're excited to see her back. I'm willing to give her a chance. Chad, this promo was a snoozer.
I think Vinny could have given a more intense promo. It was no intensity. It was just like she was, coming to your house for a cookout, Mark, and talking about.
Wait, so you're saying my cookouts suck?
Would you shut up and let me get to it? And asking, hey, what kind of food? What do you want me to bring? Beer. How about some? It's just like a casual conversation, and it's like, no, you got to come back with intensity. You got to come back with, I'm going to beat your ass and take the title. I'm tired of dicking around. And it was just like she was having a flowery conversation with her pastor.
Oh, well, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
But this didn't take place on a Sunday.
It took place on Wednesday. Yeah, it was dull. It was just, guys, kind of sick of this shit. I know. It was scattered. I don't know if they said just go out there and talk to the fans and say what you want, but she didn't have a clear-cut message. Thankfully, she gets interrupted. There are all sorts of interruptions. Io Shirai comes out. Rhea Ripley comes out. While Ripley's out there, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez come out and jump her. Ember Moon rushes to Ripley's rescue. Io Shirai kind of hightails it out of there. She's asked backstage why. Why didn't you get involved? And she said, they're not my problem. Dakota Kai and Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley, none of that is my problem. My problem is defending this belt.
Great promo. Great end. Sorry.
Yeah. Up next, we had tag team action. Mark, had you seen this would have looked really, really familiar. It was Everrise versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Comedic match. Killian Dane thinks they're best friends. I'm sorry, I apologize. Drake Maverick thinks they're best friends. Killian Dane can't stand him. Tags himself into the match. You see where I'm going with this, Mark?
Yep.
Are they watching the indies and copying, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so wholeheartedly.
This was not borrowing. This was out-and-out plagiarism of Steak and Eggs.
Yep. They subscribe to the IWC network for only $9.99 a month. Where you can watch everything back to like 2012. Plumber, there's your cheap plug again. Go ahead.
Just one more thing, Chad. To the point where he had a new song he wanted to debut, new entrance theme music. It was all right. It was corny. They won.
They won.
This, and this is going to be surprising. I laughed at this. This reminded me of the last Rocky movie where he come out to, I don't know, some Bing Crosby song, Good Intentions or something like that. This is funny. I don't like Maverick, but this was funny. This was the stupid giggling, laughing shit. This was entertaining. It
really was. You're right. It really was. Had I not seen it the last 6 months at IWC.
Yeah.
Not knocking IWC, but it was their idea, it seems. And they just out and out hijacked it.
Next.
Up next, we had Leon Ruff. I've never heard of the guy. Taking on, from Grenoble in the French Alps, 7'4", 520 pounds, Austin Theory. I am just unloading the Austin Theory jokes.
Oh my God! This was supposed to be a picked up segment. Clearly, we're not picking it up.
This was a good match. I like what Austin Theory's doing. He's still, he doesn't really have a winning streak going yet. He's got too big of a mouth for the lack of success he's had, but it works for him, and he gets a much needed win over Leon Ruff, but then runs his mouth. And Dexter Loomis comes out and accepts a challenge.
Chad was reading the lift chair manual that we have in the house because that's how much he cares about Austin Theory.
Jeez. Just have him pop out of a fucking cupcake and let's be done with him.
I thought both matches were very good. I thought his match versus Leon Ruff, he wrestled, he showcased one style, and then his match against Dexter Loomis was another style, with Loomis really beating the shit out of him. But, we talked about like tenacity with Johnny Gargano against a much bigger, not carrying cross, Damian Priest. This was similar. Austin Theory had his moments against Dexter Loomis, but still, wouldn't capitalize at times. Still, his own ego got in the way. I like what he's doing. He's showing he's got all this potential, but he can't get out of his own way. So he wins the first match and then gets his ass kicked in the second match.
They're going to push Loomis again. He was out with an injury for a while, and I think he's just that man beast that you like to see in NXT.
Gargano and LeRae had a segment that was forgettable at best, Chad. I like both of them. I really do. They're just too corny for words. They both think they should have won, but they lost. This is ridiculous. We deserve rematches. That was pretty much that promo in a nutshell, right?
Yep.
All right. Mark, we don't need you. We're doing fine.
You're slowing it down, but go ahead.
Then we get Ridge Holland versus Danny Burch. We're reminded what Holland did to Finn Balor. Not to Finn Balor, I'm sorry, to
That's why you need me right there.
That's why I need you.
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, thank you. Yes.
Jesus. One time.
During the Finn Balor match.
And Karrion Kross was there, too.
Right. You're such a dick. He came out with Adam Cole on his back, so we recapped that. I honestly don't remember much about this match. Two hard-hitting Englishmen, and then something happens after the match. I didn't even pick up on it, really, where Ridge Holland mocks Burch. I don't know if he smacked him or just kind of nudged him, and it sent Burch over the edge. And the brawl after the match was better than the match. These guys beat the crap out of each other once the match was over.
And that's where Ridge Holland's leg snaps in half.
Yeah. The only thing I really took out of this, and I saw it and I was like, what the hell? It just didn't look right, is when he caught him, Holland caught Burch on a second dive through the rope, and he caught him just like if Vinny jumps off of my bed, I catch him. And Holland went down like somebody just shot him right in the fucking head. Wow. And he's screaming. I mean, they're bleeping. They bleep it out. They're turning away. There's the X sign. And I'm like, oh, this is lame. What the hell? And then it comes back on. He dislocated his ankle.
Jeez.
And broke his leg in half.
Oh,
and they
God.
have, Burch was nowhere near. It's like I said, he caught him perfect. Like, it's just a freak
accident
thing. And now Holland's out for however time. They actually popped his ankle back into place at ringside, and he hit one of the EMTs when they did it. Yeah, he's hurting. He's in a deep world of hurt because it was
one more time, what caused this? Because it was kind of chaotic, and Lorcan came out to help Burch. But what was it specifically that caused this? Do you have any idea?
No, it was just he caught, which whichever one I was saying, Birch, whichever one it was, on a dive, he just caught him just like I said, if I threw one of Mark's wrestlers his toys to him, he caught him that easily. No problems. It's not like he had to, lean down to catch him, or he had to move over to catch him so he didn't fucking kill himself on the concrete. He caught him perfect, and then was just like there for 2 seconds and just went down. I mean, it looked like a Tanya Harding freaking bat incident.
Wow.
To the back of the, to the kneecap is what it looked like. And here it was his ankle and lower part of his leg snapped.
Wow. That sucks. Those injuries suck for those guys because I'm sure they were all getting pushes. So hopefully Ridge Holland isn't out too long. I like the character. Again, we need big powerhouse wrestlers. That's a bummer.
You seen that he was John, just to tag in real quick.
Sure.
You seen that he was getting started in a some kind of program with Adam Cole. Absolutely. In the Undisputed area. So he was getting some kind of push there, and then he just, no joke about it, he just went down like somebody shot him.
Yeah, of course he was going to be involved in a story with Adam Cole, because that's who he dragged to the ring. Adam Cole, not Finn Balor.
Not Karrion Kross either.
Not Karrion Kross. What the hell's wrong with you today?
I don't know.
Shit straight. Shotzi Blackheart versus Xia Li. Shotzi Blackheart, at some point during the show, reminded us that Halloween Havoc is coming back. It's not a pay-per-view. It's going to be a free show. I missed that. Has there ever been a good Halloween Havoc?
No.
It's on free TV. I don't know if it's on USA or what.
Does it matter?
No.
Come on. You guys don't think seeing Abdullah the Butcher in the electric chair 3 different times and old Abby, just sitting there.
Maybe that's what we'll watch for.
Oh, he's not being
watch for what the hell? The rewind next week.
He's not being shocked, or he's being shocked and nothing was happening. He's being shocked again. Nothing was happening. Then the third time they put him in, they fucking fried him. Old Appy's sitting there, like a freaking beached whale, because they actually shocked him in the freaking chair. Come on, that was classic.
How much more of the show is left so we can...
This is... Okay, so there was another promo with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. Indy Hartwell, I guess, gave them a TV. I don't get what the hell's going on. And on it, there was a flash drive of how she protected LeRae during the Battle Royal. They didn't catch on to this before. So now they think she's great and ought to be their friend. I'm not sure what they're doing. Just be a powerhouse wrestling couple, or a power wrestling couple is what I'm trying to say. Not a powerhouse couple. Like one of those power couples. Like
Powerhouse Fuse?
Right, yeah. Just be a wrestling couple that wants belts. Stop showing me you guys eating spaghetti. Quit it. Shotzi Blackheart and Xia Li was a good match, but again, it's what happened after the match. Xia loses another close one, shows poor sportsmanship. Afterward, Boa comes to the ring and hands her what looks like a contract. Nothing more came of it. She took a look at it, considered it, and left the ring. Decent match, but it was a story afterwards.
All right, are we done? We good? That's NXT.
There was a tag team match at the end that was, for me, highly forgettable. Chad, Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, I don't even remember who won.
And
you guys are telling me to go back and watch this then? It doesn't sound like
most of it. Most of it. This match, this was another match. I do remember thinking, what the fuck is this doing as a main event? Ember Moon
again. Wednesday night's fucking tag team main events were garbage.
Yeah, just very quickly, from what I remember, it was to show Ember Moon she's back, and it showcased her. She looked okay. But, more to my point and Chad's point earlier, Mark, you're excited to see her back. After the promo earlier in the show, this was not main event material. I'm not terribly excited to see her back. I'm excited to see Toni Storm back.
Yeah.
Not terribly excited about Ember Moon. Sorry, Chad, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is just... Ember Moon back is kind of like seeing the Big Show switch heel and face for the 470th time. That's about where I'm at. It's like, oh, okay, great. He punched Ric Flair out. And
next week, he saves Ric Flair.
Yeah. He comes down and he's marrying, Beth Flair, or Charlotte Flair, or whoever. It's done.
All right. Clearly things are forgettable, and we're going to be transitioning to Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown wasn't bad again, guys. Once again, right now, second segment, somebody in 10 words or less, tell me something about Raw. Anybody. And we're going to come back and cover it. Tell me something. Okay. 10 words or less. I'll cut you off.
Rey Mysterio has a lovely family.
Rey Mysterio's daughter is smoking hot.
All right, we'll be back.
This is the Spazmanian Devil, Andrew Palace here, and you are listening to Can Crushers. Let's have fun.
Welcome back, Can Crusher Nation. We are in this cluster highway wreckage known as October 11th show. Mark is here sipping on water because he got, Chris LaRusso last night at a wedding.
I did.
John's over here like, what the hell am I doing with these guys? And
there is no rhyme or reason to this show today.
Yeah. And I'm just waiting to go out and kill something tomorrow, hopefully.
Raw. Besides you two having an infatuation with Aaliyah Mysterio, Raw.
That's what stands out. Guys, we have resented wrestling as a male soap opera. We have agreed with wrestling as a male soap opera. This isn't even Days of Our Lives. This isn't even... I'm telling you... So I did theater in high school, and senior year we needed boys. So I was like, Mark, you gotta help us out, man.
What, you were saying it wasn't good?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm about to pay you a compliment.
Oh.
Mark, in 12th grade, was a better actor than Rey Mysterio's daughter. I'm sorry. She is a lovely young woman. Rey Mysterio... I don't even need to describe Rey Mysterio and how good he is and what a big fan I am. I've gone on about Dominic and how I think he is special. I'm sure he grew up in the business and got a head start. Doesn't matter. He is excellent. I can't do this storyline anymore with his sister and Murphy, you like my shoes? Or Seth wants you. My sister, I don't even know what the hell her name is. My sister, you shouldn't talk to him. Dad doesn't want you to talk to him. It's just so bad. Just quit it already.
So I'm only a better actor than Aaliyah Mysterio.
Aaliyah, is that her name?
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Better actor than Aaliyah Mysterio.
Okay.
So painful to watch.
On this... Mark may be a better actor, but if you compare him acting and looks, she's got the upper hand, so I got to go with her in this one. Sorry, buddy. This is bad, but I am waiting until they show Seth Rollins has the footage of Aaliyah and Buddy Murphy at the Bates Motel, and Aaliyah comes up pregnant. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, one other thing I want to mention about this segment. You guys remember the $1 Million Man berating Virgil? Pick that up. You better think about your sick mom and other relatives and whatever else. You better pick that up. I don't know. It just felt like it built to something. I just didn't, maybe because I was 11, I don't know. I didn't buy Murphy and Rollins. Like, just apologize. Show me something, Murphy. Show me your thinking. Show me something going on behind the eyes. It just went on and on and on, and it didn't build up. I couldn't even tell you what the eventual outcome was, if he kissed his feet or they fought, because it never built to anything.
All right, that's one storyline that we're not liking. The other part of Raw, that Retribution now has a leader, and it's Ali. Has Retribution taken a step back to being worse than the Oddities? Because I could give two shits.
Their names are like Slapnuts and Dickhead or whatever. How seriously can you take them?
The Oddities were better. I cannot care less about Retribution now and or Ali. Done.
Don't forget about John the Best One, Crotch Rod, or whatever the fuck his name is. One of them is, I can't even remember, one of them is leaving Retribution already and fucking going back to NXT.
Hopefully it's Mia Yim. Hopefully Mia Yim said, fuck, I'm done with this.
No, it's not her. That's the one that I know. God, I never thought I'd say this, and please help me with this. I am putting Retribution behind the Dork Order. I would rather see the fucking Dork Order than Retribution. Now, because it's just like their updated Aldo Montoya jockstrap fucking masks that they have on. It's bad. It's just bad.
Jeez.
Where's this go? Does anybody theoretically care?
To the trash. Take it to the trash.
All right, that's it. I really could give two shits about anything else. SmackDown. Let's go to SmackDown. The draft started, and I'll run through the draft. Round one. Jesus, I need more water already. Drew McIntyre, Asuka, and Hurt Business stay on Raw. Roman and Rollins are on SmackDown. Of course, the champions right off the bat staying. Thank God, because I'm tired when champions switch. The main champions. Round two, we'll cover the draft and we'll cover the matches. AJ, as we said, back to Raw. Naomi to Raw. And Nia and Shayna stay on Raw. SmackDown gets Sasha and Bianca Belair.
You know why the champions didn't switch this time? Honest to God. Because
Fox
wants all nationalities represented on their show.
Round three, Ricochet, Mandy, and Miz and Morrison. So Miz is back on USA because his show starts this week as well, so that he can start promoting that again. Jey Uso stays, and thank God the Mysterios go to SmackDown. So this wonderful storyline can continue on Friday nights now.
Well, at least it's cut back to fucking 2 hours. And Roman Reigns is on there, so they're not going to feature this shit as much.
It better not. It better fucking not. And then round four, the new tag team champions, New Day, head to SmackDown. They head to Raw. Dana stays on Raw. Garza stays on Raw. Big E and your boy Otis staying on SmackDown. Other moves, supplemental moves, Heavy Machinery split up as Tucker went to Raw, Gulak went to Raw, whatever.
This jealousy over Mandy and Otis is bullshit. They should have drafted them so they could be the power couple on Raw.
Okay. Falls Count Anywhere match. I'm not even fucking paying reference to that. Falls Count Anywhere match. This match was awesome between Big E and Sheamus. I really liked it.
Really brutal.
Besides some of the shit that we said offline that really is a really pancake mix that's laying around in the back. And go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing is you've always heard that WWE catering is a real deal, and those men and women deserve it. Absolutely. But am I supposed to believe that table with like sugar and flour and eggs was catering? Is it make your own pancake day? Anyway. Very good match. Brutal. I cringe on the car spots because if they look good, they'll cut you up, as we saw the windshields cut up both guys badly. If they don't look good, then I'm sure they're hella painful, as when Sheamus hit the hood of a car but didn't really hit it flush and just kind of slid off and then came down on his back. That looked rough. Great spot in the trunk there where he tried to close him in, but Big E got his hand out, and then he went to kick him. Big E moved, and he kicked the trunk off the car. It all looked very cool. I like that match.
You could do that. You could kick the trunk off.
You think so?
I think.
It's not on my test, but maybe the next one.
Oh. You didn't watch SmackDown, did you?
I watched this match, and brutal, two big guys. This is the stuff that I like to see. Great match.
So the big dog actually answers Jey Uso, and we're going to get an I Quit match in a Hell in a Cell. Jesus. Are we excited for this? There's going to be 3 Hell in a Cell matches, by the way. It's already been spoiled.
Yeah. No. I hope it's better than their last match. I had high expectations for their first match. I hope this one's better, but I don't have high expectations for it.
I won't even care about the Miz and Morrison Hardy Riddle match. If you guys want to talk about it, go ahead.
No,
but we do get a return. Lars Sullivan's back.
Oh,
great. Nothing.
I was thinking about him recently, just like I was thinking about Karrion Kross. I liked him with the right kind of push. I mean, a monster heel that just destroys everybody in his way. You can never go wrong with that. It's worked for years.
That essentially, with him coming back, I think you see Braun Strowman over on Raw and Sullivan stays on SmackDown. I don't think these two cross paths because that's something that we would want. We want that match.
Right.
With Lars Sullivan on the, glad to see he's back. On the serious side with it, I hope he's able to overcome his anxiety demons and depression demons that took him out before. Like John said, monster heel, especially somebody that looks like him, just looks, intimidating. Just have him run over. And anybody that beats the fuck out of Matt Riddle, I'm right there with it. You could have NXT that's 6'8", 420 pounds. Austin Theory. I would root for fucking Austin Theory against Matt Riddle. But, on a serious note, I do hope Lars Sullivan's able to overcome his emotional demons and make a run at this because he seems like he could really do well. He's a monster guy.
We get a teaser between Sasha and Bayley. I thought this was great. I really did. Just a little bit, and we were good to go. Then, boom, end it.
And my son predicted, he said that's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. Turns out, we find out later that's exactly what it's going to be. Hell in a Cell, Sasha and Bayley. That will be good.
Yeah. At one point, that was going to be the main event. I don't think I don't think they're going to have that the main event. All 3 of them will be in a row. So, we'll end with 3 Hell in a Cell matches, so...
Well, if Reigns being in Hell in a Cell, that's McMahon's boy.
Yep.
I think by default it's gonna fuck the other 2. I think it's gonna really cause the other 2 to be so low grade
low grade.
It'll hurry them along. If Roman and his cousin Uso have to go on last and are given all this time, it's going to hurry the other ones, which would have been better matches if given more time.
And the women will be the one that suffer the most.
Yeah, for sure.
What they should throw, and what would be a perfect way to do this, to play in with Reigns' character and shit, is to have Heyman come out and say he doesn't earn more money by staying here, pull the Brock Lesnar shit, let's get this match on first and get done, we have shit to do. That would be the fucking way to do that match. That way the whole rest of the card can be its own. But
then we get the tag team title match that we already referenced. That the New Day is back. They've gotten the titles. I'm excited for these guys to be back, and I'm all right with them being broken up because I think Big E gets the push then. I really do.
But now they're champions on SmackDown. Weren't they drafted to Raw earlier in the night?
They were drafted after the match.
After the match, okay.
Yeah.
So do you think this is what you guys have referenced in the past, an opportunity to unify the tag team championships?
Thank fucking God. Yes.
Yeah.
It needs to be done. Come on. It needs to be done.
Tag team titles, the Intercontinental and U.S. title, the World titles. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you're going to get all of them right now. I think it starts with the tag team. Then we get the main event, which is The Fiend versus KO, and The Fiend just beats the shit out of him. And I like the way that this ended with Bliss coming out and them kind of staring lovingly into each other's eyes. I really love Bliss in this character right now.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm surprised at the booking here. The Fiend looks unstoppable, which he has for a while. But Owens looked like a bitch, man. He got owned. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah. What did Kevin Owens do? He gets that win at WrestleMania, and then see you later. You're done. He's just been on a downward slide.
He'll be back around. They have so many people in their roster that they all kind of go through this from time to time, and then they come back around.
All right. So
Alexa Bliss, just when I don't think she can get any hotter, her fucking smoking level of hot is at 99.99% here.
Why doesn't it get because your wife's listening?
No, because she's not with me. If she was 100%, she'd be here.
Here we go. Raw SmackDown. What else? You have something. You brought up a tidbit that you want to bring to the forefront.
Yeah, this is just little wrestling history we talked about briefly off air. Legendary pro wrestler Len Rossi dies at age 91. A lot of people didn't. Who the hell is Len Rossi? Well, he was really huge in Nashville in the 60s and 70s. He was kind of like Jerry Lawler was to Memphis. But here's a tidbit why I bring this up. He was part of 14 World Tag Team Championship teams, and also held the NWA Junior Heavyweight title and the North American Junior Heavyweight title. Accomplishments, great, right there. Why I bring it up? He was also known for being the first wrestler to integrate the sport with an African American when he took on Bearcat Brown, which should recognize that name, took him on as a partner in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
In the 1960s. Rossi and Brown remained partners and friends for the rest of their life after.
Wow.
After that.
That junior heavyweight title, that was Denny Brown and Lasertron fought about over that for years.
Nelson Royal
was
another one.
Yeah.
But just a little tidbit of history, and you think of other sports, baseball integration and football and that. Wrestling was the same, just as bad, especially in the South. And you know, I hate to say it, you haven't gotten, African Americans have not gotten the title, the world title reigns that, you know, has been deserving. Ron Simmons, R-Truth with the NWA title, when he was good. And it's just a little bit of something like, holy cow, this guy here who had his whole career took a chance, bucked the system and said, I'm fucking doing this. And he made a, you know, a friend for life. Kind of reminded me of the, Clash of Titans, the football movie.
Yeah.
Where they, you know, they butted heads at first a little bit, but then they were best friends until earlier this year when the one passed away. I can't remember which one it was that passed away.
I know where. I know of the story.
But, little tidbit.
John, you got anything?
Of course you do.
Do I? No, I don't think I do.
What?
Yeah, books are on the way. LJN books are on the way.
Cool.
From Australia.
I still have all your shit sitting here in the studio, so apparently we'll trade someday. IWC event last night. John watched it. As I said, again, I was at a wedding. Probably cover it next week on the show. We'll throw some of our thoughts and everything. Spoiler right now, IWC will continue as the regulators lost.
Yep, they did. Another spoiler, Mambo Italiano was on the card, and we know that he wrestled, it was an NXT match, found out while watching IWC last night, he was in the class for the Thatch Can training.
Wow.
He was the guy that was getting stretched to the max.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Team IWC. You know, it doesn't surprise me that they won. I mean, they were going against, you know, Jock Sampson, who's a fat bastard and doesn't answer any challenges. But congratulations.
He's still the champion, though, of IWC.
Well, that's because he won't face me, the little bitch.
All right, guys, just remember.
Just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.